guess it was my dad that was waiting on him. And this fellow kept saying, well, don't you have a little something? And waited until several rings had been taken out of and put on it. And all of a sudden he grabbed
all of them?
What he
could.
Not all of them, but he grabbed some and ran out the door. And I saw him do it, and I started running after him.
You ran after him?
Yeah.
Did you catch him?
He went through the dime store was next door, and he went through this store, and almost lost him, you know. And but then I caught sight of him, and then we came out the back door, and I hollered out because I saw a policeman, and I said, "Help! This fellow was a robber!" I hollered out, "Help!" And then he came,
and the police apprehended.
They caught him.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you remember how old you were when that happened?
Well, I must have been in my teens.
Okay.
15 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want this fellow to... He didn't have that much, because, it was just the stuff we were showing him.
Yeah.
But
still.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't want a robber.
I never heard that story.
So he went through the dime store.
What's a dime store?
Oh. It was like what were the names of them? Pennies?
Like a thrift store, or like a...
No.
Like
a
dollar
department store?
It was a sort of a department store, and everything was supposed to be low price.
It was the dollar store before the dollar.
Oh, God, I get it. The dime, because everything's supposed to cost a dime.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, yeah. So it was right next to the jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
So he came out the front door and back in. And I think he thought that the jewelry store was only half a block deep.
Okay.
And there was a different store. But the dime store went all the way to the...
Went all the way through to the next street.
Next street. So here we go, running through, and so pretty soon a couple other people were running.
That's nice that other people jumped on board to help.
Yeah, and somebody did stop him.
He did, he was stopped.
Yeah, and then the police came and...
How long did your father own the jewelry store for?
Seems like it was all his life.
Yeah?
Because Grandpa started it.
Okay.
My grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So your father inherited the store.
Well, he didn't inherit. He lived.
He was born into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was another. We had an Uncle Harold, but he never was interested in the store. No. There were three boys in the family. My dad, Uncle Harold, and Uncle Norman. So it was...
And where was the store? Where did you live at the time?
In Mount Clemens.
In Michigan?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right across the street from the county building.
Okay.
Best business place in town.
What was the name of the store? What was the name
M.L.
of
Green and Son.
Sorry?
M.L. Green and Son.
M.L. Green and Son.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what did ML stand for again?
Merritt Lewis Green. Merritt, it's kind of a strange name.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
that
it's an
was
older name.
your grandfather's name,
Uh-huh.
Merritt Lewis Green.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know how he got into making jewelry?
He was an apprentice. Came from Canada with his family. And he had been an apprentice in Canada. And that was, the way a lot of people learn skills.
Mm-hmm.
By apprenticing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Grandpa was very thorough. He was mentally very,
Sharp.
sharp, and he loved to read and study and find out about things. And he did go to a school
University?
by mail.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that existed
Oh.
back then.
Yeah.
Before online schools, they had
Yeah.
school by mail.
Uh-huh. And people who were working but wanted to advance oftentimes would sign up for that mail.
Okay.
And
Right. Interesting.
so yes, he was very self-educated.
And what was his name? Your grandfather?
Merritt.
Merritt.
Merritt Lewis Green.
Yeah.
And your grandmother?
Grandma. What was her name?
Do you remember them?
It doesn't come to my mind. I know it. It'll pop it up
Okay.
later on.
I'm just curious, for the sake of preservation.
What was her name? Was Grandma.
That's right.
That is true.
When did you learn to swim?
Well, we used to, during the summer, we could ride our bikes down to the what they call it was by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little corner, and they had a playground area there, and a swimming area with lifesavers for the town. It actually was, I think, about 3 miles away,
Okay.
but we used to go down on our bicycles in the summertime because we didn't have a car. I mean, we had a car, but it was strictly for the for work.
For important things, not for swimming.
No,
Okay.
Not for play.
not for work. And my mother didn't know how to drive for a long time, but she finally did get her license.
She did. She learned.
Yeah.
Do you know how old she was when she...
She
Finally
probably
got
was
it?
50 or so.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did your family go on vacation?
We went over to Canada quite a bit
Okay.
because we had family over there. And I remember one year we went up to see the Dion quintuplets. Did you ever hear about the quintuplets?
No.
DeYoung quintuplets?
The name of the family was Dion, Diaone. I'm not sure I'm spelling it right,
Okay.
but it was the Dion family. And it was big news. And they lived over in Canada, further north. And it was the first family that people knew about that had 5
Babies at one time.
babies at one time that all lived.
It was a phenomenon.
It was. And so it seems silly, but anyhow, it was such a phenomenon, and whether it was the parents or I think it was probably somebody who saw a lot of money in it and planned these things, but they had a special building put up, and it was within a walkway of a high fence, and it enclosed the playroom and play area that the quintuplets had. The family that had that family were just poor everyday people, and somehow or other the government got in and helped them and set up this thing. And so the quintuplets were on review. They had this special house and lots of help and people would go to see the quintuplets. And they had this play house, and there was a play where we could go and look through the windows, and then there was an outdoor room, and they had lots of helpers. You could walk around and look over the fence.
They were an attraction.
They were an attraction.
They were all identical as well, which is super unique.
You know that? Yeah. You know the story?
I just looked it up.
Oh, wow.
And because oftentimes when there's multiples, there's...
Right. There's some that are paternal.
Yeah. Oftentimes it's multiple eggs versus this must have been one egg that split 5 times.
Right.
Because they all are identical. So it's all the same DNA.
Same one egg, one
That's
sperm.
so fascinating.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's very, very unusual. And
do you remember how you felt about it when you were a child? Like your experience?
Well, I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to see them. And I did kind of wonder, what kind of a life they were having.
Yeah.
Where they were on display.
Yeah.
Of course, they tried to make it so that the kids weren't really aware.
That's good, I think, but I feel like kids are pretty smart, like catch on.
Yeah. So and then they always had someone, and then their normal family, they were pretty much taken away from their normal family, so they didn't really know. Didn't really know their sisters and brothers. It was a fairly good sized family. I think maybe there were 4 or 5 other.
And they were isolated, just the 5 of them.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Pretty much so.
Wow. It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the list from Mom? Tell us about your dad.
About my dad?
Yeah.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he told us stories, and he was strict.
But in a good way?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would, and he worked hard.
And he had the jewelry store his whole life, right?
Well, he and his brother, well, there were three brothers, and his older brother was an optician.
Okay.
He went to school, and Grandpa went to college too. But they all, no, Harold was the one brother that was the odd man, and he was always getting into debt and
The troubled one.
yeah.
That was Harold.
Harold.
Okay.
Harold, Norman, and Stuart. Those were the three boys.
Stuart must have been a good man.
Oh yes. So yeah, that was my grandpa, and he was a nice man, and he was the one who was in the store, and
I have some very fond memories of Grandma Green. Is there anything that you want to share about her? Tell us about your mom.
About Grandma.
Yeah. Where was she born?
She was born in.
She was born in Yosemite Valley.
In California.
Yeah. I think she was born in Yosemite.
At Yosemite, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And her parents had come out because of the gold mining.
They came for the gold rush.
The gold rush.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
And they lived in California for maybe 3 years or something like that.
Okay.
Not a whole lot. But when they finally, realized it was not like they had heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not a gold rush, just
Seems
like
to
a
be how
gold
it
trickle.
works.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they did find some gold, and I think I still have a piece.
Really? That's cool.
That is
I
cool.
didn't know that.
I have something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look at my. But it was few and far between, and they finally would turn around and went back.
And probably exceptionally challenging with two little ones.
Yeah.
Or, because Grandma Green had a brother, right? Michael? I feel like that's in my memory.
No, that wouldn't be Michael. I'd have to look that up.
Remembering now.
Let me see if I've got.
I know that we can get that information from somewhere else. I bet our mom knows some of it.
Yeah.
But I remember Mom saying that when Grandma Green was born in the mountains, that their family didn't have enough food. And so for her to survive, they fed her goat milk. And she survived because of the goat. It's very cool.
Yeah, Grandpa, they were wild goats, and they lived out in in sort of like a tent, not really a home, and the story is that Grandma was allergic, or there was no her mother wasn't strong enough to produce very much milk.
Oh.
Is what I recall that you know, they were they were out there in the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and they had this camp, and it was just a hut, I guess, not really a
Hard way to live.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like 3 miles from the nearest
Oh wow.
store,
Mm.
and so, and Grandma was not very strong, and yeah, and she just didn't have the milk,
Mm-hmm.
and the story of the goat is true. The goat came and allowed Grandpa to milk it.
The goat just showed up. Oh. Huh.
Yeah,
Wow. An angel goat.
yeah. I don't know. You know, it was a wild goat. It wasn't something they bought.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so they gave her the goat's milk, and
Wow.
then she started to grow. Before that, she was very, very. I don't know how old she was. She wasn't very old, but they didn't think she was going to live very long.
Oh wow.
The way it was
Because they
going.
didn't have
That's-
food. When did you meet Papa Bill?
Where?
Yeah. Where and when?
I met him at college,
Okay.
and it was what I would. It was probably when I was a sophomore, because at first I lived in the dormitory, and then when you were a freshman, you had to stay in the dormitories, but when you got to be a sophomore or a junior, you could live in outside of campus, unless you were a townie.
Back in the day, you got pinned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. What does that mean?
That meant that we were really serious about each other, and I got his fraternity pin.
Oh, I see.
That's instead of having an engagement ring, that was the thing we did that in those days.
I see.
Oh, interesting.
So when you were engaged, that's when you got pinned.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. And how long did you date before you got pinned?
Oh, probably the better part of a year.
Okay.
I guess I started to say my sorority was this house, and I'll give you a little outside information after that. And his fraternity house was like three doors up, and that was called a fraternity row.
Okay.
There were a lot of fraternities and sororities, different ones, and that street had maybe 6 or so, and other streets would have there were quite a few fraternities, and
Okay.
his fraternity was really close to my sorority.
Okay.
And it just so happened that his grandmother was the house mother.
Oh.
Oh.
So was it Mamie's or Pa's mother?
It was Mamie's
It
mother.
was Mamie's mother, okay. Because that's how she helped pay for Mamie to go to school, right?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Wow.
So you got to know her pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
So she must have liked you.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah. We did. Got
Oh,
along really well.
interesting.
What was like the first thing when you met Papa that you really liked about him?
Golly, I can't remember.
His good looks?
Well, yes, I thought it was very handsome, and
Mm-hmm.
and what was it we talked about? I'm trying to think if it was talking about dogs or cats or some
Mm-hmm.
innocent
Some
Small talk.
excuse to just get to talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about that weather?
Yeah, and I think actually I met Papa when the sororities and the fraternities oftentimes would have get-together parties.
Like dances, kind
Uh-huh.
of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were places on the campus or near the campus where you could rent for the night and have a dance,
Oh yeah.
or or meetings and so on and so on. So I think that's probably how we first met.
Mm-hmm. Is that when, did you do fencing in college? The fencing team?
Yes, I did.
Did you do that the whole time you were in college?
Oh, no, I did that just the first couple of years, I guess. I was pretty good.
Yeah. Did you ever really get stabbed?
No,
No, good.
I was fast.
Good. That's the advantage to being small, is you can move much faster than someone who is very big.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found something that worked for you.